Hey YouTube, what's going on? Thank you for checking out my video. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that the bane of my yard is that tulip poplar tree, pretty much in the middle of the front yard. I don't think I noticed as much in years past, and quite frankly, it's because the yard was pretty ugly and it didn't really matter. In doing some research, I found that the tulip poplar trees in the springtime put on way more leaves than they need, and then as it gets warmer and there's more drought, they drop those leaves. The problem is I spent a lot of time and effort into putting in over 5,000 plugs in the yard, and the leaves on that poplar tree, as you can see here, are quite large, bigger than the plugs themselves, so they completely cover it and create a lot of shade and stress on those plugs. So I can't leave them on the ground. And what I've been doing is every day, every other day, every couple of days, is going over it with the lawnmower. The setting's pretty high on the lawnmower, but just to suck them up and to get them off the lawn. That works, but I can't keep running those tires over top of the plugs and having that weight on there. So I've been looking at other solutions, and I ordered something, and it's supposed to be here today. I can't wait to get it's the doorbell. Can't wait to get my hands on it. Let's go see what's at the door. Yes, it's here. It was. It came. Can't wait to try this thing out. The Ryobi VacAttack, 40 volts. Hopefully this will do a good job without having to run the lawnmower and just compacting the soil. And the neighbor has a couple big oak trees, so I'm really hoping this can help me out in the fall. So let's get the unboxing and see what we can do. Let's go get this plugged in and get charged up, and then we got to take it out into the yard and get rid of those leaves. Alrighty. All in all, it took about 2 hours and 10 minutes to charge the battery. Fully charged, all 4 bars. Let's slide it in and see how this thing works. So I thought I might try something else a little different. Let's rake the leaves closer together instead of getting all these spread out leaves all over the yard. See how this goes. So what's my initial reaction with this? Well, first I'd like to back up and review my two goals. One was to get the leaves off the yard, obviously. And number two, not use the lawnmower to accomplish goal number one. And really, who doesn't want to use a power tool versus using just a regular rake and scooping them all up? When I went out and tried this, that first time, it took 33 minutes. Now that includes, I timed it from the start. That included moving the camera angles around, going and getting the rake and halfway through and say, hey, I'm going to try a different approach with this. Would the lawnmower be faster than that? Absolutely. Would it be drastically faster? Probably not, considering that in my case, sucking up the leaves in the bags on the lawnmower, I would have to stop at least once with a full bag, take it, dump it, put it back on, restart the lawnmower and go again. Or if I wanted to mulch them, which this does as it's sucking them up, I would have to go over the yard once, put the bag on the mower, and then go around the yard again, sucking them all up. So it wouldn't be drastically faster. So you're talking a couple of minutes tops. This is very lightweight. It getting up all those leaves, filled the bag up about halfway, and even with it half full, I can still operate it with one hand. So that's the positives. The negatives, and there's a pretty big negative, is the battery died just as I was finishing up. Taking out the time to move the camera around and getting the rake, it was about 25 minutes I spent actually getting up leaves, and the battery died. So the battery lasts about 25 minutes. In this case, just getting up the leaves in the front yard, no big deal. In the fall, with much more leaves on the ground, will that be enough? That remains to be seen. So that's a pretty big consideration. You had to take in, how many leaves you have, how long it's going to take you, and kind of size of your yard, and if you're willing to invest in additional batteries. Batteries for this from Home Depot is $139. There are third-party batteries that fit this on Amazon that range from anywhere from $60 to $80, depending on how many amp hours or anything like that you want to get. The other negative is on the back here on the bottom is a little hook for the bag to sit in the front anchoring of the bag. Now as you're going and the bag gets some weight to it, this just slides right out. Real simple. So that got real annoying. What I did is I found a bungee cord that I have, just wrap it around and I just pull it back into place here. That really held it on and that issue went away. But it's something Ryobi should really address in some way to clip this in to where it can't come back out unless you want it to. So that's really the only two negatives I've had from that. In full disclosure, it's been about 3 weeks since I've got this and I used it the first time, so I've used it about 4 times since then. Average time about 16 to 18 minutes to get up the yard, so battery life now doesn't really seem to be an issue for me. So I'm keeping it. I like it. You have to evaluate the size of your yard, how often you're going to use it. Are you going to be using it more than 30 minutes or 25 minutes because the battery's going to die? And are you willing, if so, are you willing to invest in additional batteries? If you liked this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Or if you didn't like it, please feel free to give it a thumbs down. If you've learned anything from my videos, probably more than likely learned what not to do from my videos, please consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it very much.